This peanut butter pie is rich, delicious, pretty simple to make. So today on Cooking with Parker, I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it. It's gonna be a great time in the kitchen. Let's go. This recipe calls for 8 total ingredients and probably about 3 or 4 different steps. So we're starting with some nice chocolate Teddy Grahams. So if you remember those Nabisco chocolate wafers, that's what I used to use. They stopped selling those this spring, so the Teddy Grahams are a great kind of alternative, have some nice flavor as well. Just using 2 cups of Teddy Grahams. I use my food processor till I'll get these nice and blitzed, real fine crumb structure. And I got this kind of chute opening for mine. There's the only lid I have left. This is pretty old school equipment. And it works just fine. Just kind of recycle it and feed all my Teddy Grahams back into there. And then I'm going to grab 5 ounces of butter. So just cutting out 3 tablespoons there at the end. We can wrap that up, use that later on for something else. And then I'm going to melt this in the microwave. So nothing wrong with that. You can do it on the stovetop, but really no need. Microwave does just a fine job. So while it's pulsing, I'm going to slowly pour in our butter. So I figured out this 2 cups of Teddy Grahams, 5 tablespoons of butter is going to give a nice kind of wet structure that's going to hold its shape as well. A little crumbly right now, but we're just going to pour out all our crumbs to make the crust into a 9-inch pie pan. Just press it down. You know, want it nice and compressed. Go along up on the sides as well. And then I'm using a glass. You can use sort of any flat bottom container to press it down so it's nice and cohesive to the thing, and also kind of going around the edges. Use my fingers, make sure it's nice and pressed up on the sides. There's no blank spaces, anything like that. Doesn't go quite all the way to the top, but it works just fine. And then pop this in a preheat oven at 350 and cook this for about 8 to 10 minutes. And you could skip all this, you know, just buy a pre-made crust. Then you're going to do a no-bake pie. But making it from scratch, it's a little bit extra work, but I think it's worth it, and you get a nice kind of extra chocolatey flavor. Now we're getting onto our filling, grabbing a nice can of Peter Pan peanut butter. I don't know about you, but there's something satisfying about opening up a new can of peanut butter, that smooth top. But I'm getting 1 cup of peanut butter, so it's a 16-ounce tub, so getting about half of that. Didn't feel like measuring out, dirtying the cup I have on the side. And then I've got 8 ounces or 1 block of softened cream cheese, so just leave this out on the counter for probably a couple hours beforehand. It works just fine. And then we're gonna slowly mix this in our stand mixer. You could also use a hand mixer, but stand mixer is always a nice option. Gonna scrape down the sides, make sure you kind of scrape it off of the paddle attachment as well. You just want to make sure everything's well combined. You don't want, you know, cream cheese and peanut butter being separated. Then I'm gonna weigh out or measure out 1 cup of powdered sugar. So in baking, a lot of times you want to be super precise. You know, weighing out your stuff is gonna give you a more accurate result, but this is no bake pie. You don't have to be as exact. As I said, just kind of spooning out the Peter Pan peanut butter, and then just kind of doing roughly 1 cup of powdered sugar. That's going to help bind things together as well. And then I've got 1 8-ounce container of Cool Whip. So you could make your own whipped cream, but Cool Whip's simple, and I think it actually gives a little more kind of lightness and airiness to the pie filling than making your own homemade whipped cream would. So just work that again until you got a nice, really light, airy, silky smooth filling. Just make sure everything's stirred up and combined. Give it a taste. Always taste as you go. So now we're going to pour our filling into the pie crust. So I made the pie crust first, so it's had some time to cool down. So I popped it in the fridge, actually, let it kind of set up and cool off. And then we're just going to smooth out our filling, make sure it's nice, smooth, even surface. So just smoothing it out. Make sure you go back, get the paddle. You don't want to leave any of that goodness behind. But you know, if there's any left behind, don't worry about it. You can lick the bowl, kind of the chef's bonus. So can't do this at the restaurant I work at, but at home, nothing wrong with that. So we're gonna pop this in the freezer, let it firm up, probably about a couple hours, or the fridge for about 4 hours. So while that's firming up, we're gonna go ahead and make a quick ganache. So just 1 cup of chocolate chips using the double boiler method. So we got some water on a low simmer underneath, just kind of heated up that bowl on top. You could use the microwave as well, but I think the double boiler is a little bit more effective. And then I'm going with 6 ounces of heavy cream, so just a little bit less than 1-to-1. So ganache is pretty simple, chocolate and heavy cream. You can alter it however you like, but doing slightly less heavy cream is gonna give us slightly thicker consistency. It's gonna be really nice for kind of our ganache topping for this peanut butter pie. And then it's pretty much reminds me of a Reese's, so I decided to go ahead and get some nice dark chocolate Reese's cups. Just using these as a garnish, you know, can't go wrong with Reese's. Just give 1 extra kind of flavor and color component to the finished pie, make it look pretty. I actually let the pie just set for about 15 minutes in the freezer at this point before we go ahead and pour over the ganache, because we want this to harden up as well. So we're gonna put it back in the freezer for another couple hours. So it's set. Just pour our ganache over top. Make sure it's nice, evenly spread out. You know, it's nice kind of loose ganache at this point while it's still warm. Make sure you go back and get everything though. You don't want to leave any of that behind, but not gonna lie, I went back and licked this bowl a little bit, but not too much because this ganache is super rich and thick. Just give it a little shake so you got, full coverage across the whole pie, and then I'm gonna cut the Reese's in half so you get that kind of open look for it. See all those nice colors. I'm gonna go around the edges, just going opposite from each other. That way you gotta make sure you got nice even distribution. So again, 16 pieces of Reese's Pieces. We're probably gonna get a 16-piece pie. Most recipes say 8, but it's a super rich, delicious pie. So we're gonna pop this in the freezer again. Now that it's firmed up, I'm gonna go ahead and slice myself a piece. So I'm being a little bit greedy here. Gonna go ahead and get myself kind of a 1/8 of this pie. But I only ate about half of it because it's super rich. So 1/16 of this pie is probably good. And each Reese's will give you a nice kind of indication of where to cut. And I actually made this pie for my dad's 60th birthday a few years back. So making it again for him this year to celebrate. All right, now for my favorite part of the video, the final taste test. That's pretty incredible. Super smooth and silky. The peanut butter flavor is really nice and strong. Got that ganache on top, the 30-gram crust. I'm telling you, can't go wrong with this. So make it at home, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.